Safe and sound. Bring it back to never. Bring it down on the ground.
Hello, 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 hello.
Hello. You've already got messages. We just started.
Nice. We'll do a little mic check. Hello, hello. I can hear you, Tiffany. Can you hear me? How's that?
I can hear you.
All right, nice.
Loud and clear.
Hopefully everybody else can hear us. So hello. Thank you for everybody that's joining us. Thank you to the mad rush of birthday shout outs. I appreciate you all. Thank you very much. I appreciate every single one of you, and I'm going to take the time to respond to everybody that has given me a shout out on Facebook. I just have not done it yet. So thank you, Diane. I see Shay's here with us today. Hello. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ben. We have a hello to you, Tiffany. So we got a hello.
Julie.
Hello.
Julie, my old bowling partner. We've got to roll again soon, Julie.
Thank you. Let's see. Who else do we have in here? Oh, I think I saw. Where did it go? Let's hide that one and go down a little bit more. We said shout out to Ben. Ben is in there. Thought I saw. Oh, there he is. I thought I saw Mr. Sterling. Hey, Jay. It's been a while.
There's Jay.
Good to hear from you. Good to hear from you. I hope that you and your kiddo are well. So I appreciate everybody. It has been a good birthday. Especially now that I know officially what age I am. That is.
If you weren't listening last week, Shannan realized she's been saying her age wrong for the entire year. She made herself a year older.
A year older. So not for any particular reason, just wrong year. So now I get a do-over. So we're going to get a do-over, and I'm fine with that, and that's fine. So it was nice to see some of us went out on Friday night. So it was nice to see all my lovely friends, including my friend Tiffany. So thank you very much for all the well wishes. I appreciate you. Oh, our friend Lisanne. Hello, lovely. I appreciate you all. And in lieu of getting me a present, if anybody has any extra money, you can always support us in the chat. We're going to get that information out. But in general, you can always throw some money towards the Autism Society of Minnesota. I will never complain about that.
Great organization.
Tiffany, I
Yes.
thought of you as I was at the grocery store before today's live broadcast. And I was passing a car as I was walking into my local Hy-Vee, and I passed a car that had a window cling that I thought you would appreciate. Are you ready?
Yeah.
It's a Dodge Caravan, and this is what I saw. I made sure I took a picture. So everybody, if you would like to get something for your window, this might be an option. This is what I saw. So
Powered by bitch dust. I love it.
Powered by bitch dust. And so I was a big fan of that, and I thought you would appreciate it, Tiffany, if anybody would.
Where do I get that?
I like that it's in the Disney-esque font. That's what I thought was incredibly clever, because you presumed that it was going to be something like Stardust, but no.
Nope.
It's just honesty, and that's what you need sometimes is honesty. So I thought you would appreciate that, Tiffany.
Oh, I love it.
So somebody over at the New Hope Hy-Vee is very honest and knows who they are. And I appreciate that immensely, immensely. So everybody, thanks again for joining us. We do have some stories. I appreciate you being part of our very special happy birthday edition. For me, we are not going to focus only on my birthday, though. We are going to do what we always do, which is focus on you, our friends, and our community. Tiffany and I found some interesting stories throughout the week, including we want a chance for you to kind of weigh in on what might happen with the Minnesota State Fair. But before we get there, Tiffany, I know that we were talking about what we were doing for St. Patrick's Day this year. But thanks to you, we found this story about a brand new whiskey joint that is coming to the Twin Cities. Do you have that one with you, darling?
Yeah, well, I've got the link, but I kind of know it by heart. Basically,
of course you do. You're like,
I'm Irish, But basically, they're opening up, and I'll look up the name. I don't have that part.
Yeah,
okay,
you go ahead and start.
So they're opening a new distillery, and we're all about our distilleries in Minnesota. And this is going to be located very close to Surly Brewing.
Yes.
Now, and Surly right now, I believe, is still closed.
I think so. After all
that they will.
They're like, hey, how dare you try and unionize? So
yeah, there was that, and the pandemic, and the whole thing. But what makes this distillery really unique is that they've actually recruited an international whiskey star, the man who is the head distiller of Jameson.
Right. He
has been lured to Minnesota. So that was some talking to do.
Right. And it's going to be called O'Shaughnessy Distillery.
There we go.
That's what it is. Yeah. The O'Shaughnessy Distilling Company. Yeah. So, I'm very excited. So
I am too. Well, because you can't get whiskey at Surly, and the other place you might not be able to get beer. So you can just walk back and forth.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's what I would do.
All right. That works. Because we do know Kieran from Kieran's. And so I'm good with a good, a good two gingers. So it'll be nice to have something else in town that we can just dabble in on occasion. Because for everybody out there, I used to whiskey a lot more, and then choices and life. so
I have seen Shannan on whiskey, and let me tell you, it's a lot of fun. But you do get a different side of Shannan than you're used to. It is
all the people who are like, Shannan never swears, and Shannan this and Shannan that, they have not seen Shannan on whiskey.
No, that's usually the night when you're like, I'll light one of those cigarettes for you. And I'm like, oh God, you're drinking whiskey.
When they're like, oh wait, Shannan smokes only on occasion.
No, and she only lights them and then hands them over to me.
Yeah, it's a pyromaniac thing is what it is. So it'll be good to go and check. That'll make a good every once in a while opportunity for me. It does not need to be a full-time thing at all. But I thought that'd be fun. And that brings me to, I wanted to do the gross story last. So let's talk about all the fun stuff first. We don't want to do the gross story next because it'll throw everybody off. So we wanted to know what everybody thought. According to the fine folks at the Minnesota State Fair, all signs are currently pointing to them being able to open back up in at least some form for 2021. So I am curious what everybody out there thinks. Like, are you ready to go back to the Minnesota State Fair? Like, Tiffany, are you ready?
Oh, yeah. Well, see, I entered 2 years ago. I entered the baking competition, and I did fairly well. I framed my thing. I got a 92, which I thought was pretty good.
Congratulations.
I mean, obviously I didn't get a ribbon or anything like that, but I know what I did wrong, and I'm ready to compete. Well, you know what? I didn't make it soon enough. You know what? Great British Baking Show. It was a little stodgy. I didn't let it cool long enough. I should have done it maybe the day before. It was, So I'm back. I want to do that.
We shouldn't be surprised. Our friend Diane, who lives walking distance from there, of course, she is very excited for the State Fair to open back.
Diane is there every day. Pretty much.
Literally. I am torn. I am not prepared to be around 100,000 people yet.
Right.
Isn't that record-setting time? Like when it's a record day?
That's like 200.
Okay. So I am not in the mood yet, I don't think. I think I'm in more of 1,000 people at the most in the amount of space that the State Fair is like. That's which I know is not right.
Right.
But I mean, if we don't, I might feel better once we get closer to it. So, oh, my friend Jayden's here. Hello, Jayden. I appreciate you saying happy birthday. My podcast life mate. So my other life mate, other than Miss Tiffany Norton, he and I spent some time doing some podcasting earlier today. He's also the executive director of the Twin Cities Film Fest. So you guys should watch some movies if you go to our website, which I talk about very often as well. So
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
About the Twin Cities Film Fest?
Yeah.
Sound of Metal, just watched it. It's free on Netflix. You guys debuted it.
Yes.
Amazing. And you know what? I think it legitimately could win for Best Picture. Because it's nominated for Best Picture.
That was one of our one of my favorite films. You know, we got a lot of response over that one. And I'll be honest, with the Twin Cities Film Fest, Jayden will have to let me know, but it's every year for the last umpteen years, we have something that we showcase that ends up being a Oscar contender. So I don't know how far that goes back, but I'm thinking 3, 4, 5 years. It's been a while. So yeah. So if you want to see what's going to be all of the hotness, so you could tell all your friends you saw it first, you should check out what we do over at the Twin Cities Film Fest. So hello, Kelly. Thank you very much for the birthday wishes. We appreciate you. Thank you. You see, I actually changed my hair a little bit for my birthday. I'm getting used to it because it's big again now. So now it's doing the Shaka Khan thing on this one side that's kind of bugging me. But it works for her, so that's fine. Yeah. Back to the state fair though, Tiffany.
Yes.
Like, okay, do you have any caveats on how many people they would admit? Or are you ready to just go back full in to what it was before? Like, what do you think?
I just say, well, let's just not have children because they get in the way and they drop things and they're loud and they're noisy and they're always crying and then they're gumming up the lines. Just no children. Super easy.
That's not going to work for people. The
4-H kids can come. That's it.
Because they bring the llamas and the pets. Yeah, I mean, all of the things you want to pet. I am less concerned about the children being children. It's the adults that don't normally go out. And the state fair is one of the only things that they do. Those bother me much more than the children. So like the first time that they've been out is in a year is the state fair. And the last time they came out, like people that don't even know how to like navigate and walk, they just stop in the middle of the street. Those are the people that bother me much more than the children. And the thing is that the whole state fair, I mean, every job I have is at the fair. So this is the first year that I did not feel like I was going to have a mini nervous breakdown on Labor Day. So maybe that's it. I just need to not be there every day. Like maybe I just need to take a step back.
Because you were covering for the radio station and for the television station. So,
correct. And then sometimes there's a comedy show and it's just too much. So I think that's why I appreciated having a break. I did like the fact, because I do want it to be a quality event. And I know that it's a community building event. So I did like the fact that a lot of the vendors had the opportunity to do pop-ups throughout the city. And I wish they did that more often. So I liked that I could go over and they had a variety of the hot dog vendors and the cheese curd people and those things throughout the community. So I hope they stay with that. So that would be lovely. That would be lovely. So
there's a thing you can follow on Facebook, which is the State Fair Food Finder. Yes. And you can find different locations when they're doing that kind of stuff, food truck style. So that's kind of fun.
Chase, our good friend Jace, who's also one of the chief instigators in the Jason Show fan club, just said happy birthday to me in the chat as well. So thank you very much, Chase. I appreciate you. It's lovely to get all of the accolades. Oh, see, you're right. Yeah, the people that walk too slow, you are right, Jace. They are the worst. Like people. I am good, even though I'm short, I am good at navigating. You have to use your shortness to your advantage so you can be quick and wily is what you can do. Just weave. And then if I need somebody to see me, like if it's my job for everybody to find me and I'm the leader, Tiffany, I do that.
Yep.
Finger in the air. So that's what I do as well. And Jace, he liked having the food trucks all over the place anyway. I hope they do that more often. But we'll see. I know I talk this way now that it's still up in the air. But if it opened and I was supposed to go, I would go.
It's like the most fun. It's like the whole state has happy hour for those 12 days. You know what I mean? Like I run into people at the fair I don't see ever. Like I've run into people I haven't seen in 20 years because everybody goes. It's
Right.
I don't know. I love the fair.
I'm always amazed because you and we will go and wander around, and we always, and it's not like we'll put out a post that says this is the day we're going to wander around, and we always do run into somebody and all those people that we know. Where it's like, how did we manage to luck into one another?
Yeah.
In the miles of state fairness and find everybody. So that part I do agree. It is fun. But we'll see. I might still, you know me, I'm probably going to be the one, you know, that's still wearing a mask and trying to like elbow people by.
Well, I think people should still wear masks.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's, I mean, if you're not eating or whatever, part of the thing that doesn't bother me as much is because it is mostly outdoor. But
fair enough.
you know,
All right. That's
you know.
fair. That's fair. All right. So I might come around by then. I might feel, we'll see if everything gets gross between now and then, what everybody does. All right, Tiffany. Okay, I sent this story, so I'll lead with this one. Okay, so everyone out there, I was not a pageant person. I was not a homecoming. I did not go to homecoming when I was in high school. I was just a big nerd, did not go to that. So this story fascinates me. So a mother-daughter duo has been arrested. And the reason that they were arrested is that, and this is a family in Florida, and that's where a lot of these stories happen. They're Florida or Texas is where all these things go. So according to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, what happened is that Laura, the mom who's 50, and her 17-year-old daughter, the daughter was announced as Tate High School's homecoming queen last October. But then Laura's daughter, kept talking, and it turns out that Laura had access to the accounts of a lot of the kids who were supposed to be voting in this event. Mm-hmm. So she signed on to all these people's accounts and voted for her daughter.
Yeah, and the did you say what the mother's job is with the school?
No, I didn't. I did.
She's the assistant principal.
Right.
So she's got access to everybody's stuff.
So the assistant principal who decided that her daughter deserved to be homecoming queen. And the thing is that her daughter doesn't know how to be, like, if you're going to be shady, you also have to be quiet about stuff. But her daughter was just bragging up to people saying, oh yeah, my mom looks at people's accounts all the time. Here, let me show you how it's done. And was like just showing off that she could do this. And now she ended up winning by like not quite 250 votes. How desperate. Like, well, normally we use the word thirsty in accordance to somebody that needs to get something. But this is like this is aggressively thirsty. Like you need attention so badly that you're gonna cheat for homecoming queen. Like, I don't even get why you care. Like, does this help you get into a better college? Does this take care of your student loans? What do you get for being homecoming queen other than did say you were homecoming queen?
Okay, so confession. That's why I perked up when you sent me this story, right? So I think it was, I can't remember if it was like my sophomore year or something like that in high school. And I will not say who the other party was because we are still friends and we are on Facebook. So it could possibly, but another gal and it came out where you do the nominations. That's where you start. You nominate someone, then they narrow it down and then you vote. Mm-hmm. We decided after school one day to nominate each other.
Okay.
I'll write down your name. You write down my name. Ta-da, right?
Right.
So we do that and we vow to never reveal that. I kept up my end of the bargain. She did not. But she told everybody I nominated myself, left out the part where she nominated herself. And so everybody thought I was such a freak. Like,
oh wow,
such a jerk for nominating myself. But it was sad too because I didn't bloom until a little bit later in life. I was kind of a weird kid. And when they came out, they'd have the names, like how many people had nominated. I just had the one. It was her, which was really me. I only got one. So boo.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know that this was gonna be like a little like ping something personal. I didn't mean to cut deep.
No, it's but I mean, I understand the level of narcissism that this mother has transferred to her daughter.
I just don't care. Like I was military ball queen but I was surprised. Like I wasn't expecting that. So
There's a military ball queen? Ooh.
Yes, if you're in like ROTC, which I was in, so they have a military ball. So I did go to that. I didn't go to homecoming. I didn't go to prom, but I did go to the military ball. And so
that sounds right. That sounds right. that sounds right. It checks out.
All the battalions, so all the high schools that had a ROTC would have we'd all pool together. So it was all inter-school. And so this won't surprise you. So they got to the point where they said they announced like 5th runner-up, like 5th place. And they didn't announce me, so I presumed I didn't win anything. So I kind of just stopped paying attention because I'm like, oh, if I was going to get picked, I'd have been 5th. And so they just go down the list and they get to 1 and they say my name and I was just stunned. So I got pictures of Era. Yeah, it was, so it was like, I have a little picture and I'm glad I went.
Yeah. Well, that's the one to go to. You don't want to be like, and Shannan Paul.
She's the one that never goes to things. No, I do go to stuff. I just didn't go to that. So no, I do agree with Jace that this sounds like something that could be a Lifetime movie.
Well, I mean, it's the Texas cheerleader, the cheerleading scandal.
Yeah, on Oxygen, if nothing else. Do you know this story about our friend Jace? Okay, because if you see what's going on in the chat, because our friend Jace is like Jason Show famous, because as I said, he's got a tattoo on his leg of the Jason Show. So. Yeah.
Oh, I saw that he got a leg tattoo on the Jason Show. He actually has the graphic of the Jason Show on his leg.
Yes.
Oh, will someone do that for us? Will someone get a tattoo of one of our graphics? That would be awesome.
I think yours would be better. Your graphic, your Bitter Baker graphic would make a decent tattoo. If we had that would be okay. My graphic is just a lot of words.
Yeah, that's true. It would just be a brick wall.
Just text.
Just text.
That one would work. If anybody, we should suggest this to Jayton from the Twin Cities Film Fest, because their logo, that right there, Tiffany, that would
be cool.
That sunburst, that would work. That doesn't look sailory at all. I like that idea. So maybe we'll suggest that. But Tiffany, if you wanted to have somebody do that I would just be worried that they would mess up my hair. Like that would be like, usually tattoos of faces don't come out well.
Yeah. It's a risk. It's one of the hardest kind of tattoos to do and to represent someone well. It's yeah. I wouldn't want someone like, because you see that people do that with celebrities. They're like, oh, look, I got you done. And then you're like, ooh.
Here's one. This is a good idea, Jay. We could do a henna tattoo so they could practice. So you do a henna tattoo with Bitter Baker.
Okay.
That's a good idea. That works. Yeah. Hello to Hassam. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate you. So we can see how that goes. I don't know. Yeah, I can't think of what. Maybe my unicorn logo that I use sometimes. Like, because that would be cute. My unicorn and Shannan logo would be a decent tattoo.
You should just tattoo. Yeah. We should all brand ourselves with our own brand.
If nothing.
That doesn't look, that's like nominating yourself for homecoming. It really is.
If you can't love yourself, who else is going to love you?
Exactly. It's true.
I like it. Okay. Should we move on to the growth story now? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. If anybody wondered why I-494 was closed for a while last week, there was a truck that was going up I-494. And it turns out that there were some things leaking out the back of it. And we've done stories about, beer leaking out of things. We've done stories about, we had a bunch of wine that was wasted. Remember, we had that story. So this one, I do think takes the cake, though. Don't you think, Tiffany? I think this one definitely.
Oh, God. Yeah. This is the stuff of nightmares. I'm surprised I could even talk you into doing this story because it's too close to horror.
Okay. So what it turns out is that there was a truck, and what it was leaking is actual blood. And so
blood.
as you see over there on the side all of that is just blood that was pooling down the highway.
Yeah. The cops are going to have some questions for you, I think.
Oh gosh, yes.
Where's the bill of lading for the blood?
Look at that. Yuck. And I guess because it was because I want to show this other picture that this is what it was packaged was supposed to be like. And could you imagine that you're these people, this fire crew that has to go and clean all that stuff up? It's like, okay, I know you run in when other people run out, but good job to the fire department. I mean, can I just say they are amazing, absolutely amazing. Because who would have thought when they got up, they're like, "Hey, man, I need you to go to Bloomington."
We're just gonna need a shit ton of hydrogen peroxide to clean this up. Oh my God, it's like Carrie. I'm just thinking of prom now, and I'm thinking of Carrie and the blood and everything.
Absolutely awful. What it actually comes from is that there was it wasn't human blood. It was actually from a meat packing plant. And so this was animal blood. And so this tanker was carrying the blood from this animal rendering company. And so it's supposed to go and process it as waste animal tissue. So no, it was not supposed to fall out of the truck. But could you imagine like somebody didn't it's bad enough when you don't close your gas cap, but this is taking that to a whole nother level that, the fact that Bob just didn't crank it down a little bit and it's just pooling out of the.
Yeah. I think next time you ask more questions before you say, what am I hauling? Mm-hmm. Let me just be here. Let me be careful.
He had to sign for it. So I'm sure he knew what he was hauling. He had to sign off. He had to put the placards up, all the stuff that you have to do. I'm sure he had to put the right sticker on there. So he knew what was in it. He just didn't lock down what he needed to lock down. And then it turns into a waste.
2 tons of liquid blood. Check. It's a real bloodbath. You don't get to say that in real life.
Yuck, 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 yuck. What is going on here?
The chat. I don't know what. I don't know who Hussam is, but
but he's not a fan.
He's not a fan of me. Let's put it that way. Well, you know what? They're not all winners, buddy. There's plenty of podcasts. Move around. Go check out something else. He's not going to get a Bitter Baker tattoo. Let's just start there.
All right, I'm gonna show it.
Read. But pay attention to us because I am a covert narcissist and I need that. So
you want me to show it so he can say what he just said?
Sure.
And enslaves you, Tiffany Norton. That's harsh.
Yeah.
Harsh.
You're doing everything in your powers to get her to become a traitor against her God.
Interesting.
I'm
blocked.
Sorry, Sam. Our relationship is just too short.
Sometimes you just gotta block. You gotta rebuke them.
In radio, that's when we just hit the hang up button. But
he's been rebuked.
yeah. Guess who's been rebuked now?
So I don't know.
Oh my God. Well,
been a good day.
It was the blood story.
Maybe that kind of thing. I guess you being a unicorn, a black unicorn was okay. You being a white witch was not. He wasn't feeling it.
No, he wasn't. He was not feeling it. There's a couple of gems in there. You can go back and you can read the thread when you
we're
done with this.
He's blocked now. I do appreciate this comment from Diane. Like, why wasn't there ever a criminal mind? There will be now.
Yeah.
There will be now. Maybe because it's actual animal blood. That's probably why. Like,
that's what they say. Of course, you're going to say it's animal blood. No one's going to taste it. No one's going to check.
No. Well, you can't taste it. You have to test it. Can you tell if there was a bunch of blood in the road, if you went out with, you couldn't tell what kind of blood
I would like to think I'd be able to tell the difference between human blood and blood from a steak. I would think.
Why?
What do I know?
Yeah. Why do you think you'd be able to do that? I'm curious because I don't think I'd be able to do that.
I don't know.
I'm not that
I just feel like I have that good of a palate.
I have a hard enough time trying to figure out if I have picked up your glass of wine instead of mine. Then I was like, oh no, this is not the one that I want. That's not it at all. Oh, here you go, Jay. All right. So yeah, no, I got it. So yeah. So that's our gross story of the day. We don't always have gross stories, but that one we thought was
But when we
fascinating.
do, there's probably
And the
blood.
fact that it came right here in Minnesota. All right. Okay. So let's go to our what'll lead to our question of the week. I'm sorry that I forgot to bring it up, whatever our question of the week was last week, but I've been busy this weekend birthday-ing.
Yes.
Didn't get around to it.
Yeah.
Trying to do regular work stuff and birthday-ing. So this brings us to this story. And this is one that was brought up in the Huffington Post. And so basically, Fox News has been on a tirade to try and cancel culture. So every time there's a story about, somebody says you're a terrible person, like that Hussam who didn't like us, who wants to cancel Tiffany, they think that should not be a thing. And you should just be able to say whatever the hell you want. And so whenever somebody goes, okay, you're canceled and we're just, taking you off Twitter or shutting down your Facebook account or any of that stuff, people get, Fox News loses their mind, right? So they decided that they were going to play this one during this one clip. They put this whole thing out about cancel culture. And on Monday, what they said is that they wrote, because Ted Cruz had started this. And so one of the correspondents on Fox News, Jillian Turner, says cancel culture is spreading like wildfire. There is a call for Generation X to lead the charge to save America from the social media mob. Can they do it? And all of us Gen Xers just say, hey, man, don't bring me into this. Like,
you are trying to cancel absolutely everything.
Right.
When we were kids.
Because of course, I'm not going to be on the boomer side, because if you go back to, they're the ones that came up with all the stuff that said that it was a problem. It's like, no.
Yeah, Tipper Gore. Sorry, Al Gore never got my vote. You know why? Because you need to go home and check your wife with the banning of the music and all that. Because I used all my babysitting money and I used to buy about a bunch of tapes and that. My parents watched the 60 Minutes and immediately marched into my room like the Gestapo and took everything, took all of my tapes that they deemed inappropriate.
Right.
And it was, I was devastated, devastated. And then I had to rebuild my whole collection. And then I had to get a better hiding spot.
And that's what everybody is saying. Like, even if you look at what they put on social media, is like, yeah, I'm not here to help you. You got to think, like, you made my life really complicated and took all my CDs and made everything bad. They're the ones that came up with all of the labels that we have out there. Yeah. So no, like, why? That's why there's a parental advisory sticker on everything right now. So I'm not trying to go out there and help them either. And I also appreciate the Gen Xers that are out there that just said, I just don't like all that attention. So it's all like, could you just just leave me alone? If you want to fight, because there's always, that has happened on more than one occasion. The boomers are fighting with the millennials. And the millennials and all of the Gen Z kids, and they keep asking us to step in and help them. I'm like, I'm too busy working and paying for your Social Security, so I'm good. I'm all right. I got enough.
Just take your shot and sit home.
Right, and
we got this.
As someone who has a Gen Z kid, isn't that what we're trying to do? Is make them less assholes than the other generations? So if they're going, you know what, I find this to be this to be problematic, so let's stop doing it. Okay, cool. Yes. I think that's great. Gotta think.
Yeah, remember? I mean, NWA. I mean, they were tailed by the feds. The feds were following them. They were
right.
Don't get me started. I love gangster rap.
As you should.
Yeah. As
you should. I thought I blocked this guy. Now he's
on, you know why? Because he's on YouTube.
But I can still usually block him. That is so funny.
Yep. For those on Facebook. Oh, here we go.
Here we put this up.
I gotta, you know what? This whoever Hussam, you're better. Well, you're more well read than I am, because I don't even know what an Edomite is. What is an Edomite?
I don't know. Why does he think that you perform black and white magic and witchcraft? He's
Edomite. Well, you hope I only do white magic.
This is fascinating. All right, I blocked him again. So
it says a descendant of a sow who was born red and hairy.
Oh, heavens.
Yeah.
Heavens.
I don't know what that means.
Okay, with that we learned something.
Also means wasted away. So Caucasians are the Edomites of today. Okay, cool. I'm Caucasian. Who
Okay.
knew?
Okay. Okay. All right. So he's just on my side because I'm the black lady. That's
Yeah.
nice.
That's
Okay.
nice. That's nice. I'm that. Yeah, you're right. White devil, right here. You got it. Totally.
Love it. Absolutely love it. This is why we like being an influencer. Like normally you'd go, okay, this is not funny, but it's funny to us. It's like the fact that we're getting paid attention to by all this kind of weird stuff. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Somebody
Well,
thinks you are a white devil and somebody else is trying to give me spiritual readings. So clearly
they're trying to give everybody in the thread spiritual
like
readings.
just
We do not know what
all of that stuff, blocking all of that stuff. So
is it because it's the equinox? Is it because it was the vernal equinox?
Because we have been doing
yesterday?
this for a while and nobody was saying any of this stuff to us. And now we're just that must mean that we're doing well, Tiffany.
Yeah.
The fact that we are to the point now that people are spamming us in the chat, that's great.
Yeah. We're finally on the map. We're spammable. Before it was like not even spammers are like, not enough reach there. No point.
So we're just gonna keep blocking this person. So everybody else block them. Don't open anything that they
no,
have.
we do not know them.
No,
they followed us home from the bar.
Right. And so
the Facebook bar.
So what else did you, when you were a kid, would get canceled? Because this was one of the stories I thought was interesting. Because I really did like the Muppet Show when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And so I do appreciate that now that they're putting the Muppet Show back out, they're putting it with a disclaimer that says, hey, this would be a problem. This is that. I think that is fair. When the articles came out that they were canceling Pepe Le Pew, I was kind of okay with that because it's harder for me to figure out how to fix that character. So if everybody is catching up, so they took Pepe Le Pew out of the new Space Jam movie. Yeah. Because he's a masher and just can't take no is no and just gross.
Well, and it's not a very good stereotype for people that are French either. I mean, because he's, right. It's not very nice.
And then people
and he's not a nice character. He's right. Kind of a jerk.
And he's just chasing whoever the cat that usually wasn't really a skunk. Everything about him, the character was based on problematic. The character didn't occasionally do problematic things. The character was based on problematic. So I don't know how you would rewrite him because that was his whole shtick. There's not an episode. Now, along with that, then people were saying, well, if we're canceling Pepe Le Pew, let's cancel Miss Piggy. Because Miss Piggy had some problematic things in her character.
Yeah. She's physically aggressive towards Kirby.
Right. Yeah. And just, again, wasn't listening. It was always like, and all of that behavior, I agree, they needed to fix. That was, that there was a lot of stuff that was a problem. But I think that character, they have slowly been evolving. Like when it relaunched, it was a different character. And so that character has been stopping those kind of things. So I think that there is a Miss Piggy redemption arc that is possible versus a Pepe Le Pew that had a one trick. So I just
he'd have to go to like counseling. He'd have to have there'd have to be a lot of backstory. There'd have to be a lot of soul searching for him to realize the error of his ways. Maybe, he's got a Me Too revelation moment. I don't know. Yeah. It's too much work for Space Jam. And also too, not like Pepe Le Pew was known for playing basketball. And it's a movie about cartoon characters playing basketball.
Because his whole hook would have been him showing up, hitting on the cheerleaders. There's nothing else that character does. Right. So I don't know how to fix it. When they recraft Miss Piggy, even in like the new Muppet Show that people didn't super like, and it was more of a talk show, they did make her a different kind of aggressive lady.
Yeah.
But it was an acceptable one. So I'm trying to think of what else that I liked when I was a kid that if they said they wanted to cancel it, I'd kind of have to go, okay, kind of thing. Like there's a couple of things and I'm like, I still like it, but it's difficult for me to defend it, liking it. I think one of the movies that I watched a million times when I was a kid, and in high school even more, I would consider it Revenge of the Nerds. Remember the movie Revenge of the Nerds?
Yeah. Yeah.
That movie has so much stuff wrong with it because there's a lot of stuff like even if you go back through like John Hughes movies that there were bits of problematic. But Revenge of the Nerds is another one of the ones that everything like there's so much wrong with it. You know that I'm going this whole if you didn't show this movie again, I'd be okay.
Well, and you know, the thing that I'm still surprised my parents let me read these books, but VC Andrews, that shouldn't have happened. The whole Flowers in the Attic series, that is really, 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 really
right. It's just
really inappropriate. And
yeah,
I don't think my parents, they were very concerned about the music I was listening to, didn't give a flying, you know, about what I was reading, which is problematic because now I'm reading about, well, you look it up in the wiki. I don't know if they got kids around.
Right.
look at the Wikipedia page of Flowers in the Attic. Oof.
I agree with Jace on the skunk. Yeah, not feeling it. But Miss Piggy, there's ways that you could fix it. Maybe. And more than you want to do in a particular show. But I do think that there was more to that character than there was Pepe Le Pew.
Right.
So I'm not feeling that. So he can be gone. That's okay. I'm trying to remember. I haven't watched the original Space Jam in so long. Was he in the first one?
I don't know. They're making a big deal about it, so he must have been. I don't remember.
He's probably skunking around being problematic.
Yeah, I know. I saw it back in the day, but I couldn't tell you. It's Michael Jordan, right?
Yeah.
That's what I remember. I remember he's in it.
Players,
and like Daffy Duck or something, and it's like, I don't know.
And Bugs Bunny. And Marvin the Martian. Yes. They're all in it. But
and you go back and you watch some of those old Looney Tunes and all that stuff too. Those are a little cringy as well. So, you know, but I think you do it I don't think it should be out and out canceled if it can be fixed or represented or repackaged and disclosed. Like, be careful.
Carrie has a suggestion. You know, he's saying Married with Children.
Yeah.
So I think because that was the start of how we got these dark comedies. Like, you know, Married with Children was Always Sunny in Philadelphia before we got to Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So executed the way that it was, probably not.
Well, he had the MAM group, the MAM Men Against whatever, and they met out in his garage.
Yeah.
Like openly, hostile.
Because we do like characters that, like, there are shows that are all based on unlikable characters, and that's part of the joy now. So I think they could take it in another direction where you still thought he was not the hero and he was the anti-hero. It just couldn't. I agree with Carrie though too, that you couldn't execute it the way that it was executed. So
yeah.
This is what we're saying, Jay. You know, I agree with you. Like, he was just one dimensional. Yeah, it's just not. Yeah, it's just You know, if you did something else, if the character was known for anything else, but it was every episode was okay, this poor cat that's, you know, would accidentally end up with a skunk stripe. It was always something like some road construction thing, something. I remember seeing them and going, I don't think this is cool. And like, you literally are torturing this thing. And then they'd go, I'm not really a skunk. And Peppy still continued to be.
She'd always have to squeeze herself out. Anyway.
Yeah. So no, I'm not rescuing him.
You know, and I don't know who reps Pepe Le Pew, but you know what? He probably doesn't care that he's not in it. Probably. I'm just going out on a limb here.
It was like, I'm sure that whoever is voicing Pepe Le Pew now is voicing a bunch of the other characters, so we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. But I think it's also some of those things where people are just so mad that we're canceling things that I'm like, did you really like some of the things that they're championing? That's where I'm just like, do you care that much about this skunk? Or are you just pissed that things don't get to be crappy like they used to be? And I feel like that's it sometimes. They just don't like, you know.
Well, they don't like to have to consider other people's opinions.
Right.
Because we're Americans, and you know, we don't like to consider that someone else might not have had a positive experience if you've had one. Like, no, that was a great show. But then you go back and you look and like,
right.
You know, like even Little House on the Prairie, very innocent show. Boy, there's some episodes that are kind of like, whoa.
Right.
Oh, wow, Pa.
Yeah. And I watched some old shows and I'm just like, this was like the stuff that like they taught me in school that I'm like, now I'm like, please never teach this to a child again.
Right.
Like you're allowed to go, okay, we've adapted and we changed and we're not going to do it. Like I remember when I was a kid, that one of the songs they taught me in like show choir was Dixie. And I didn't know what I was singing. And now think about Dixie. I'm like, why was Dixie a song that you taught in school? Like, I'm
Right.
like, oh, I don't wish I was back in the land of cotton and whatever.
No.
Those times should be forgotten. Yes, let them be forgotten. I'm fine with that. So, yeah, I just,
Oh my God.
yes,
He's back.
blocked again, still blocked. So yeah,
Maybe it's
so
on my page. I'll have to look.
maybe
Put up the Venmo real quick in case anybody wants to contribute to their favorite Edomite on Venmo.
now that we know what one is.
Now that I know I am one.
Yeah. But are you? Because I'm a fan of self-labeling, not the other people get to pick your label. You get to decide what you are, not this dude that I just want to block him all over the place because I'm surprised he found you to be mad. Like,
yeah.
what did he Google that like other than us changing the name to the Black Unicorn and the White Wish? Is that how we started this? When we were just calling it Comedy Through the Chaos Sunday Fun Day.
Yeah.
Hitting up
Yeah.
there were no red flags.
No.
You
know what? You know what? I'm going to give it 2 stars for creativity because I've been insulted many times. And I'm always impressed when it's a new and creative way. Feels good.
Yeah. Thank you very much here. This is some more positivity. Thank you very much, Stuart. I appreciate the birthday shouts. Everybody, if you need any suggestions on adult beverages, Stuart Sutherland is your fella. He knows all kinds of stuff. He gave me lots of advice on if I was going to do any more Zoom dating, what I should like suggest that the gentlemen have and we could have the same things to have talk about. I have not done any of that because the drawbridge is still up.
Yep. And once he wants to jump across that moat with the alligators, you ain't getting in the castle, buddy.
Keeping the drawbridge up until at least spring. So,
Kim wants to know. Kim wants to know in the chat.
Yeah, I blocked him.
But he was, and we broadcast live on YouTube as well, and he's coming in through YouTube. That's why you guys are not seeing it in the chat. But they're pretty funny.
Yeah, they're funny. You can watch back through the replay because I put some of them on screen. I like to torture myself. But thank you very much for the birthday shouts. I appreciate you guys as well. So yeah, I feel like this is going to be a good year. In spite of the fact that people think that I am now being possessed by my witchly friend. If anyone is going to possess me, Tiffany Norton, I would like it to be you.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Yes.
It's been so long since my last possession.
Yes, I am on board with that. Do you need to practice a bit? Do you need to
I'm a little, I'm probably a little rusty. We should do light as a feather, stiff as a board. Did you ever do that when you were a kid?
No. What's that?
I think it's just a Minnesota thing, but you'd have a girl's birthday or like a sleepover and everybody would get underneath and you'd use 2 fingers and you'd go light as a feather, stiff as a board, light as a feather, stiff as a board. And then you would all like kind of like pretend you weren't lifting them with your fingers, but you totally were. And then you're like, look, see, it works. Like you can levitate.
We didn't do that. But not only did I not grow up here, I grew up at a Christian grade school, remember? So we didn't even get to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, I went to Catholic elementary and high school.
Catholic school is different than culty Christian.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. The closest we got is
we did it. Carrie chimed in. We actually did it before the movie The Craft. The Craft ripped us off because the movie The Craft came out in the 90s. And I was doing that back in the 80s.
Okay. So The Craft followed suit. So that must be okay. All right.
That should be our question of the week.
Kim has volunteered as well, kind of thing. Yeah. So
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We should do that as our question of the week. If you could be possessed by anyone, who do you want to possess you?
Interesting. I had never thought of that because I normally would tap out of even that whole thing. But I did see a movie. There was a movie that came out again in the 80s, and it had Cyndi Lauper, and it had Cyndi Lauper and Jeff Goldblum in it. and they were psychics.
I need to see this.
You didn't see this one? I'm gonna look it up. Jeff Goldblum. And it's got a really cheesy name. And I'm gonna look it. I'm sure I'm not the only one that watched it. But yeah, and they are both psychics, and they go on this adventure, and he's like full Jeff Goldbluming it, and she's absolutely Cyndi Lauper. So yeah, it's what you think. It was called Vibes.
Vibes. Okay.
1988. It was one of those movies. Somebody who could run far. Oh, but you're a good runner, Kim. Kim is like one of my friends that she's always putting up pictures of out there running. So okay. Who would I get possessed by? Tiffany, you go first, because you probably have thought this through more than I have.
Not really, but Jeff Goldblum's not a bad start. I like him. I've liked him for a long time. I've liked him since Brindlefly.
Oh. And
Earth Girls Are Easy.
Okay. Yeah, that's when these things were way back. Like Vibes was back in there. So like in that 88. Yeah. I was like, okay. Yeah. I was like, I had a big crush on Jeff Goldblum. He's like that sexy weird that you like.
Oh God, he's so
yeah.
Don't get me started.
Like him getting full Goldblum, I'm good with that. You can tell Dominic's at home because the show is running late and we need to wrap up. So, okay. So we have 2 questions then. So if you could be possessed by anyone, who would you get possessed by? For everybody that's watching, shout out to the replay crew, including our friend Irene and our friend Peggy Miller. They're going to be watching us in replay, so they can answer us in the chat. If you could be possessed by anyone, who would you be possessed by? And I'll make sure I have a good answer by next week, because I don't know who I'd get possessed by. I have to do some Googling. Yeah. So thanks again for the additional birthday shouts that are coming in as we're wrapping up. So thank you to Kim. Thank you to Paul McGuire Grimes. Everybody, if you want to know some of the great things that you should be watching on your flat screens or out in the movie theaters, follow Paul. He's a fantastic critic and reviewer here based in the Twin Cities, and he has great reviews. So he'll be talking to, and he talks to some fantastic stars. So follow Mr. McGuire Grimes. We're going to hit everybody else up. So Tiffany, do you have big plans for the week?
Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a show at Sisyphus Brewing with the lovely Sarah McPeck. It's Wednesdays. Tickets are on sale. I think they're, I can't, I shouldn't say the price because I don't want to be wrong, but we would love to see you. It's social distanced. It's Sisyphus is one of the funnest rooms to perform in, I think, in the Twin Cities. And we're going to have, it's a great lineup, and it's Ashley Henderson headlining, and she's fantastic. And it should be fun.
That is going to be absolutely fantastic. For everybody else, you can always go to my website, Tiffany's website. Please like and subscribe to all of our socials. It's free. And if you're bored of us, you can always unfollow us. You don't have to blow us up in the chat like that guy who thinks we're possessed. So everybody else, we hope that you had a good week. Again, thank you very much. I'm going to get back to everybody who's given me a birthday shout out on on social media. And one more thing, I want to say shout out to all of our supporters. We appreciate you. There's lots of people that have been chiming in on the Venmo for Tiffany and I. Don't worry, all of the show, all the money goes back into the show, because right now that's our graphic design right there. That was our whole budget. Right. Just that. Working on that. So we hope you all have a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy, everybody. We'll have to figure out. Oh, Matthew McConaughey. I like that.
All right.
Right. Yeah. That would work. Okay. You can be possessed by Matthew McConaughey. All right. Okay. I'll come up with a good answer by next week.
Okay.
Meantime, we really do appreciate all of you being part of the show. We tell your friends. They're happy to join us every Sunday at 5:00. We'll hang out with all of you. You guys are fantastic. And Tiffany, I love you.
Happy birthday, baby.
Thank you, darling. I appreciate you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Someone who'll take a little I'm not on my own. Oh, it was you. It was streets and search for clues, trying to shake the sidewalk blues. Wanna feel like I won't let away. But every next step that I take, the broken piece starts to bit shake. So I sat down and prayed for rain. When my burning stars crash to the ground, my hands are fed, were tightly bound, and a voice said, you're not on your own. When calamity began to compound and the whiskey rain stopped pouring down, that voice said, I'm not